introduce about the new command added to Calcit.js called the bundle Calcit, which is used to bundle the bundle files of serial files into a single compatible serial file. So previously, to run a Calcit.js project, I have to use CE command to launch an editor, which is just this web-based tree editor to edit the code in S expressions, although it's a tree structure. Yeah, I like using this editor, but to use it in a simple way, we have to use these simple editors, text editors, and for Calcit editor, it generates the compatible serial file, contains all the code as well as some configurations. So this is the config file that will be used by Calcit.js, the command line CR by system command, and internally it's using a Calcit.serial file to maintain all the information that was used by this editor. Well, it's really a lot of information, even for a very simple file. So to write it in a very simple way, we use just the text files to create to write code of this piece into several files. So here's an example. I made this example yesterday, and it already contains some of the code. So this is the bundled file called compatible.serial configurations and the code. It contains two namespaces called lib and main, and to make it work, I have to introduce another file called package.serial to contain all the configurations here. So the bundle Calcit command, what it does is just reading these files, or mainly reading package.serial file and reading the serial files inside the SRC folder, and emit this file, so containing the configs and the namespace and the codes. So now I'm going to give an example of bundle command. To run bundle command, we have to use bundle Calcit. It's using Lodash since Rust uses Lodash in command lines, and we have to use I need SRC folder, SRC, and an out folder's current folder, bundle, which is bundle command. Now it emitted the file called compile.serial, and then we can compile.serial. Yeah, it's running. So in this example, there is there's a module used. It's using compile.serial from the template, which is an HTML template, a very simple one used inside in early projects of Calcit. And well, so inside a single file, just like Clojure, you have namespace definitions, which users required to import libraries and then functions. To be noticed that in Calcit there's no top level command like print line. So if you write this and you want to run bundle, it will throw an error code in invalid defop, because in Calcit everything is in definition. So maybe hard to explain, but if you see it from the editor, it's in the top level is namespace, and the second level is just the definitions. Proc is not used in Calcit. It was used in CloseScript, but not in Calcit. Just so you just can't add the print here. But everything the entry part, the entry function is main, which is defined as init function main. So as the command line starts, it will going to run this file, run this function, and it will just run. Reload is not used here. It's just it may be used when you're going to generate JavaScript, because JavaScript are connected to Webpack. So Webpack does autocode replacement, and it will try to find this one, but not here. So this was the previous example. Now I'm going to maybe I can show it in a very So I just removed all the files except for the package file, because I still need this file to run this program. The package is the app, and no these modules here, and the init function is this one, and the reload function is this one. If you prefer using just main, it's okay. So the folder src, and I'm going to create a file called main.0. So you don't have to make sure that they are using the same name. You just use a random name, it's okay. But I'm going to use a main here, and first line of the file. I should say first expression of the file should be the form of namespace. So the bundle is just trying to look at it, trying to find this one. So the first one is namespace, and the second one define function, and the function prints just loaded. And let's try bundle Calcit. By default, it's using src folder, and it's emitting to compiler.0. You may also find another name, round.0 should be okay. And so if you are using round.0, you have to use this to call the but I still prefer compiler.0, because the editor emits the file, which is a very static name. So I'm going to compile.0. So it runs. If you want a more verbose one, just range 1000. So this is not the range. This is the range. This is the range. So let's bundle. Oh. I actually corrected the name. So it's bundled to compile.0, and so it's printed the range of 1 to from 0 to 99. So so to use another function, just define a function called f1, and given a number and power it with 20 times, and then call to the 5. Echo. So echo is the same as print in this environment. bundle cast cr. Or maybe I can remove the logs in the future. It was used for debugging. I can remove it in the future. So this is the result. And also you can try other things, like define a 100 and define macro f phi print line quote or quasi quote print line phi yes. Notice that in calcit the string is represented in this way. You have to add this character here to indicate it's a string, or even using this one, using quote itself, it should be okay, but it has to be escaped in this case. So I prefer using this symbol. And macro and define state. There's state. I want to use maybe an array, a list of it. So and then I can use all of them here. Echo a, echo. Actually nothing to echo. Oh, mistake. And one key. And printing atom, echo atom. To show item, you add the deref here. Deref. So let's try. CR. Well, yes, it's running. So it just prints all the things here. Or maybe you want to check if it's really a macro explain quote. Well, not a bundle. So this time it's printed, and one more step to show it in a human readable way is formatted to Lisp. People are more familiar with Lisp. Even I feel it more convenient to use it in the style of Lisp because it's using text, and so list expression can be inserted into a text string very simply. If I use indentation in here, I may miss the information because there's no parentheses to wrap the expression. Anyway, so this is the demo, and you may also want to create another file to hold some other code, and then you can create another demo.0 file, and demo.0 file is demo. Anyway, it's something.demo, and the function called f2 to multiply the number n with 200 maybe. Then to require it here, with namespace. So it's not requiring by the file name. It's requiring by the namespace, because when it's bundled, the file name is missing. There's no file name in here. So if you're trying to find main.0, nothing here. It's just namespaces. It's found here. It's just referring by namespace, and then I use something here, run as demo, and then have to. So you may see here, since serial syntax, there's no there's fewer parentheses, so I just use dollar here to indicate it's an expression, and 3 maybe bundle. Oh, unknown symbol F2 here. F2 because it's under namespace. You have to actually use this demo here. So now it runs with 600, and another way to use it is referring by the function name, which is using refer like closure, like enclosure, and just F2 here, and now you have F2 and yeah, it's running. Maybe you want to use to say it again. It's running. So this is how it's importing another file, and you may also want to compile it to JavaScript, because Calcid.js is spending a lot of time implementing JavaScript, but to use JavaScript you have to add a reload here. So reload print line. Nothing yet. It's not a call here. Reload. Non-bundle? Oh, it's not bundled. Bundle it first. Bundle it first, and cr emit. And now you get emit. You get JavaScript files. If you try to run the JavaScript file, you can try, but it will fail. It will fail because you need an MJS extension. NJS extension. Actually, this is not working currently because two more factors are involved. Well, it's trying to import this, but you still have to add MJS everywhere, even in the packages. Everywhere. Let's try. This will be a failed example. Anyway. So it says I'm unable to call calc_procs, which is used by here JavaScript. So this is a CommonJS pack, maybe import npm package with import export, but it's not wrapped into a module, so I cannot do it here. But anyway, I already demonstrated how it's compiled to JavaScript. So it detected that the reduce function, the start function are used in this example, so it has to import these functions from calcid_procs, the calllib. Anyway, I'm not going to continue with this example. So another thing I want to show, maybe importing modules, because people need modules. So in Calcid.js, the modules are stored in the folder called the home folder of a user, and the config .config calcid modules, and here are the modules. They are just GitHub repos. So the most simple one I can try is to use the template which was in the previous demo, and to use the template. First to use it in here. And stir template. Which is it's a folder here, or you have to use the full file name. I prefer using folder here. Bundle it again. So modules still template. And then cast to run the package. It will try to look up the file here. So if you can't find the file, just it will fail. Anyway, now the file can be found since the path is correct. And then I'm going to call. I need this code, which is so the previous syntax is using list mark here. Actually, they are not required. I'm going to remove them. And meanwhile, I'm just going to copy them. I don't want to write it again very manually. Paste it here. And comment out. And now let's try cast UI global. Well, maybe I'm introducing another problem, but it's not hard to fix it. It's using some other UI code, UI styles. Just bundle again and run again. Cannot be used as operator. Let. I don't know. Or maybe I know because the variable a is redefined. I'm going to choose another name, the value a, and this is Lisp, and now a is not a number, and I'm going to run it again. Now this time it emits the HTML string here, so it runs correctly. So this might not be useful. Anyway, arrow viewer. I'm not sure if it will give us enough information, but it's not here. Anyway, forget it. So this is a demo of using libraries. The syntax was borrowed from Clojure. Since I was trying to create my code from ClojureScript, and it's simplified a bit. You can also use maybe what's that? MD5 or something like that. Or to use MD5, I have to use defaults to. So this is the code we're using for Calc.js, not for Calc the Rust runtime. Rust does not import in MD5 in this way. This one MD module. It started with a string mark. So I'm not going to show it in detail. But this is the example you want to when you want to run a very simple Calc program by creating some files and configure it with in the function or even more with modules, and then bundle it to a compact.serial file, and then you can run it. So it's very it can be very simple compared to this one. So very simple. Okay, thanks for watching. So this is the demo.